Today's episode of the More You Know podcast is brought to you by CrowdQuestion, a brand new social communication platform focused on connecting crowds to bring everyone closer to their community, as well as enhancing any occasion. Rather than being a social media platform focused on content and advertising, they're focused on communication and connection. Learn more about the platform and download the app free at crowdquestion.com.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.
Today I want to break down how many people negatively handle change, as John C. Maxwell discusses in his book Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. Change is not embraced by most people, and something that's interesting is leaders resist change as much as their followers do, meaning that even if you excel and guide others, you don't necessarily handle change properly. What it comes down to is that just about everyone handles change improperly, and most people are afraid of it. But in order to do great things and make a true impact, you must be able to embrace change. And with this being something that's so important, along with being uncommon, I want to elaborate on how most people handle change, so you can get an idea of how you might be handling change inappropriately, and what you should change regarding how you handle change. So I first want to break down why people resist change. The first is that change can feel like a personal loss. In life we often like gaining but don't like losing. We often want the one without the other, but life doesn't work that way. Next, the second reason is that change feels awkward. No matter what form of change is being made, it always feels different. And because it's unfamiliar, it often doesn't feel right. And finally, the third reason that people resist change is that it goes against tradition. When you traditionally do something one way, you often don't understand why you would do it another way. And now that I've explained how people commonly resist change, I now want to share how people commonly respond to change. And this is because since most people don't like change, they don't react to it properly, which then creates more problems for them. So first, most people change only enough to get away from problems, not enough to fix them. What it comes down to is positive change and willingness to learn are personal responsibilities. You must be proactive about going the extra mile. Second is most people do the same thing the same way, yet they expect different results. Change only happens when you do something differently. After that, the third is that most people see change as a hurtful necessity instead of a helpful opportunity. One of the biggest issues surrounding how people handle change is that they aren't willing to embrace it. Then fourth is most people won't pay the immediate price to change, and then pay the ultimate price for not changing. People often delay change for as long as possible. And to summarize this all, most people only change when prompted by one of these three things. The first is they heard enough that they have to. The second is they learn enough that they want to. And finally, third is they receive enough that they're able to. For the most part, unless one of these things happen, changes won't be made. Change is extremely difficult for the average person. Most people resist change as much as possible, and then when they're forced to respond to change, they often don't do so properly, which leads to more issues in life. What this means is that if you want to do great things and be the best you can, you must embrace change and respond to it properly. By doing so, you'll positively change your life as well as the lives of others, and it will assist with making a tremendous impact in this world and crafting a life of significance. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes. Leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media at More You Know Pod. And sign up for CrowdQuestion to ask me questions about the episode. Again, thank you for listening as we propel through podcasting with the More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.